I want you to just take a second and imagine the memory of a blazing summer afternoon. Not just the warmth, but, that total enveloping heat.
Right, the kind of sweltering, oppressive sun that makes the air itself sort of shimmer and bend right above the pavement.
Exactly. And you have been walking under it for a while. The glare is, it's bright enough to make you close your eyes.
Yeah.
The back of your neck is damp.
Oh, I can feel that. The world outside feels almost blindingly demanding in those moments. It asks so much of you.
It really does. But then you find a heavy, ancient wooden door. You place your hand against the warm iron handle, you push it open, and you step across the threshold.
And instantly, it's like stepping behind the curtain of a waterfall. You are just entirely submerged in a profound, shadowed coolness.
The heavy wooden door just clicks shut behind you, cutting off all of that blinding glare. Your eyes take a slow, grateful second to adjust to the dim, protected quiet.
You take a deep breath in, and the air here is entirely different. It smells like old stone and dried herbs.
It feels safe. It feels, like a secret. I want you to just hold on to that feeling, that deep physical exhale, that quiet surrender.
Welcome to Slumber Love Stories.
We are so incredibly glad you are here with us tonight. We spend so much of our days rushing through these brightly lit spaces, enduring the glare, managing the heat of our everyday responsibilities.
We really do. We carry so much tension. But tonight, our mission is to gently step inside that cool, shadowed sanctuary together.
We are going straight into the heart of a truly remarkable, deeply evocative piece of writing tonight. It's titled Excerpts from Under the Tuscan Sun, a Languid Afternoon Oasis.
It is just such a beautiful, gentle journey to take. It is a story about two people, Elena and Julian, finding a sanctuary not just in a physical place, but in a very specific, quiet moment in time.
And when you read this text, you realize it is so much more than a simple romantic vignette. It's really an exploration of how we actually experience intimacy through our physical senses.
Right, because the author uses the environment, the temperature, the very air in the room to tell this beautiful story about connection and vulnerability.
And as we, slowly unpack these moments tonight, I think we will discover some really profound truths about how the spaces we inhabit sort of shape the love we allow ourselves to feel.
That is exactly the peaceful path we are walking tonight. We are going to explore the architecture of intimacy, slowly and carefully.
We want to understand how a setting thick stone walls, a single shaft of light, the distant sound of an insect, isn't just a painted backdrop.
No, not at all. In the hands of a masterful writer, the environment actually becomes this living, breathing participant in the romance. It holds the characters.
And perhaps, as we explore how these characters experience this deeply sensory afternoon, it might invite you, our listener, to reflect on the quiet, sensory moments of peace and connection in your own life.
I hope it does. The story begins with a truly profound sense of place. The author titles this opening movement, Shadows on Stone.
Shadows on Stone. It's so grounding. Right away, before we even see our characters, we are rooted in the physical reality of a Tuscan villa.
The text describes these incredibly thick, ancient stone walls. And these walls, they have a very singular protective purpose in this moment.
They are blocking out the fierce, relentless midday heat of the Italian sun. They are creating what the author calls a cool, shaded sanctuary inside.
The French doors are thrown wide open to the day, which I love, yet the room remains this absolute fortress of calm.
And what drifts through those open French doors is really our first invitation to simply close our eyes and breathe.
Yes, the author introduces this gentle wave of specific, beautiful scents. The text describes the sweet, heavy scent of sun-baked lavender and wild rosemary.
I want to pause right here for a second, because this is where the environmental psychology of the story really begins. This isn't just a pleasant smell.
Right, it's very deliberate. The author is using sun-baked lavender.
Exactly. It is a scent that carries the memory of the heat outside, but it delivers it safely into the cool room. It's like the essence of the summer, without the physical burden of the sun.
Scent is the sense most closely linked to memory and emotion. When the text introduces the lavender and the rosemary, it is immediately layering our heart rates.
It is an olfactory cue that tells the nervous system, it is safe to finally rest.
But then, right alongside that beautiful aroma, we hear something. The text mentions the distant, rhythmic chirping of cicadas.
That auditory detail is so fascinating to me. The cicadas are not right outside the window. They are distant, and they are rhythmic.
In a way, they're acting as a sort of metronome for the afternoon.
Yes, exactly. If you have ever been in a truly quiet room in the absolute heat of summer, that rhythmic, buzzing hum becomes the baseline frequency of your own thoughts.
It sets a very slow, hypnotic tempo. It lulls you.
It really does. Though, I actually look at the cicadas a little differently too. I think they represent the demands of the outside world. The persistent noise of life, but kept safely at a distance.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. The fact that they are distant reinforces the immense safety of the sanctuary.
Right. The noise of the world is still happening out there, but inside these thick stone walls, it cannot touch them. It can only provide this gentle background rhythm.
That is a beautiful way to interpret it. The walls are a boundary. And inside that boundary, the visual composition of the room is almost like a quiet, classical painting.
We see an antique four-poster bed, and there, resting the center, we find Elena.
She is stretched out, completely at peace, draped in nothing but a sheer white linen sheet.
And then, the author introduces this incredibly specific, delicate detail of light.
The text says, "The afternoon sun filtered through the wooden shutters, painting long, golden slats of light across her body."
That phrase, painting long, golden slats of light, it does so much emotional heavy lifting for the scene.
It really does. Think about the quiet vulnerability of that image. In this dark, cool, shadowed room, there are these deliberate, gentle interventions of warmth and light.
The slats of light act almost like a caress before anyone even touches her. They illuminate her, but, not completely.
Right, she is still beautifully protected by the shadows. It is the perfect, comforting balance of being seen and being sheltered.
It's the contrast that makes it so striking, I think. If the room were fully illuminated, it would be glaring, too demanding.
And if it were completely dark, it would be isolating. The slats of light create a physical map of warmth across the cool linen.
But here's where the absolute stillness of this painted scene begins to gently shift. Julian enters the room.
And his entrance brings a completely different, yet entirely complementary energy. He walks in, and he is slowly stripping off his linen shirt.
The text describes his skin as bronzed from the sun, and there is a fine sheen of perspiration catching the light.
He doesn't rush toward her at all. He simply stands at the foot of the bed, just watching her with a heavy, appreciative gaze.
Little did they know, this quiet entrance was actually the beginning of an entirely new atmosphere for the two of them.
Julian is bringing a trace of the outside world into the sanctuary. He has the sun on his skin, the heat of the afternoon, and that fine sheen of perspiration.
He is a creature of the midday heat, stepping into the cool shadows. But I wonder about that integration,
How do you mean?
Well, because he takes off his linen shirt. To me, that is a profound, almost ritualistic gesture of leaving the outside world behind.
Oh, I see. The shirt might represent his day, his labor, his interaction with the demanding Italian sun.
Exactly. By shedding it right at the threshold of the room, he is conforming to the rules of the sanctuary. He is submitting to the quiet.
I love that. I see it as a gentle shedding of armor. The outside world requires us to be protected, to be guarded against the elements, and frankly, against others.
Taking off the shirt, standing at the foot of the bed with that profound, heavy gaze, it is a moment of total, unburdened presence.
He is not thinking about what happened an hour ago or, what he has to do tomorrow.
The golden slats of light are acting as a cinematic framing device, drawing his entire universe down to the woman resting on the bed.
It makes me think about how rare that kind of total presence really is for us. We rarely allow a space to dictate our moods so completely.
That's so true. Usually we impose our own mood onto a space. We walk into a quiet room and we bring all our noise with us.
Right. We bring our phones, our worries, our racing thoughts. We fill the quiet with our own clutter.
But here, the room is the dominant calming force. The cool stone, the lavender, the steady metronome of the cicadas.
It functions almost as a third benevolent character in the story. It is a quiet guardian that essentially forces them to slow down to meet the rhythm of the afternoon.
And that rhythm is so deeply reassuring. It brings us slowly into the second phase of their afternoon, what the text calls the first touch.
The transition from stillness to movement here is so incredibly delicate. The author describes Julian climbing onto the mattress with a slow, feline grace.
That description, feline grace, is so deeply evocative. It touches on something very grounded, very primal.
A cat doesn't move with frantic, nervous energy. A cat moves with an absolute secure awareness of its physical body and its environment.
Julian's movement isn't urgent at all. It is entirely beautifully deliberate. And Elena's reaction mirrors that heavy, deliberate tempo perfectly.
The text says she looks up at him, her dark eyes hooded with a lazy, heavy desire.
I do want to gently explore the idea of the movement being purely primal, though it certainly has that grounded element.
Oh, definitely. When I read slow, feline grace, I also feel a sense of profound reverence.
Yes, reverence. Moving slowly is such a fundamental way of showing care.
When we hold something fragile, or when we are in a space that feels sacred to us, our movements naturally become slower. We don't want to break the peaceful spell.
Julian's slowness is a physical manifestation of his deep respect for her and his respect for the quiet sanctuary they are sharing.
That shifts the perspective so beautifully, doesn't it? It isn't just about physical control, it's about emotional care.
And from that moment on, we see that care translated directly into action.
The text describes him gently reaching down, grasping the edge of that sheer white linen sheet, and slowly drawing it down.
It says he exposes her inch by inch to the warm air and his intense gaze.
Inch by inch. That phrase is a sort of mechanical lever the author is softly pulling, not just for the characters, but for us, the listeners.
When we hear those words, our own internal pace just slows down. We cannot rush through the moment, just as Julian is not rushing the moment.
He is fully savoring the quiet anticipation. And the text maps out the progression of this touch with such specific, comforting detail.
It notes that he doesn't start with a grand, sweeping, dramatic gesture. He begins at her feet.
He gently massages the arches of her feet, and then his hands slowly slide up her calves and then her thighs.
The touch is described explicitly as firm, confident, and agonizingly slow.
Starting at the feet is such a beautifully grounding, tender choice by the author. The feet are what connect us to the earth. They bear all our weight all day long.
Massaging the arches of her feet is a pure act of service. It is deeply, deeply soothing.
It draws the tension entirely out of her body, starting from the furthest extremity and gently working its way up.
It is a touch designed to comfort her completely before it does anything else. It is the physical equivalent of saying, "You are safe now. You don't have to carry any weight anymore."
And her body understands that soothing message instinctively. The text describes her involuntary, peaceful physical response.
She arches her back slightly, and there is a low, breathy hum escaping the back of her throat.
It is the sound of total, unburdened surrender to the absolute safety of the moment.
And it is right into that beautiful, breathy silence that we finally hear a voice. We get the very first line of spoken dialogue in the entire story.
The author has so carefully withheld speech until this exact moment, which makes the words feel incredibly significant and weighty.
Julian whispers to her, "You are absolutely beautiful in this light."
You are absolutely beautiful in this light. His voice is described as a low, gravelly rumble.
Let's linger on this for a quiet moment. This text leans on some descriptions that are very familiar to us in romantic literature.
Right, the hooded eyes, the feline grace, the gravelly rumble of the voice.
I often wonder why we are so continually drawn to these specific descriptors in stories that comfort us.
Are they just familiar shorthand, or do they tap into something deeper about how human beings actually experience comfort and safety?
I truly believe it is deeply rooted in our sensory neurology. Think about a low, gravelly rumble.
A high-pitched, fast, sharp voice naturally triggers our startle response. It mimics the sound of panic or urgency or stress.
But a low, resonant, vibrating sound, a gentle rumble, it mimics the comforting, low-frequency sounds we find in nature.
It is like the distant, soft roll of thunder or the gentle, rhythmic humming of the cicadas right outside their window.
The frequency of his voice perfectly matches the peaceful frequency of the room. It doesn't break the silence, it just softly becomes a part of it.
That is a wonderful connection. The vibration of the sound itself is what provides the comfort, and his words are so wonderfully specific.
He doesn't just say, "You are beautiful." That would be a lovely compliment, certainly. But he says, "You are beautiful in this light."
That addition, in this light, it completely anchors his emotional expression to the specific physical environment they're quietly sharing.
Yes, it means he is truly deeply seeing her in the context of the present moment.
He isn't just delivering a generic, rehearsed compliment. He is noticing the way the golden slats from the wooden shutters are actually painting her skin.
He is acknowledging the quiet magic of the room. It validates her experience of the space, too.
By acknowledging the light, he's essentially whispering, "I am right here with you in this exact, quiet second."
It shows a profound, patient level of observation. And it's that shared observation, that deeply shared pacing, that brings us into the third movement of the afternoon.
The author titles this section, Summer Rhythm. This is where the slow, deliberate winding of the clock spring gently transitions into a deeper, more consuming connection.
The quiet anticipation gives way to a beautiful, soft culmination of their closeness.
But the story didn't end there with just a quiet touch. The gentle reverence slowly evolves.
The text describes Julian leaving a trail of burning, open-mouth kisses moving upward from the inside of the thigh.
And we see a soft shift in Elena, too. She is no longer just passively resting and receiving this care.
Her hands find his shoulders. Her nails are gently digging slightly into his muscles as he moves over her lips. There is a sudden, grounded reality to the embrace.
The sensory language here shifts from the cool and distant to the incredibly close and visceral.
The text describes their kiss as a passionate, desperate collision. But here's the sentence that I find to be the absolute emotional anchor of the entire afternoon.
The author writes that their mouths tasted of the ripe peaches they had shared earlier and the salt of their skin.
The ripe peaches they had shared earlier and the salt of their skin. It is such a quiet sensory masterpiece.
It brings the sense of taste directly into the room, which is arguably the most intimate, memory-driven sense we have.
But it does something much more profound than just describe a flavor. I see it as an act of brilliant, gentle world building.
You know, often in a love story, we focus so entirely on the abstract feelings, the soaring emotions, the grand feeling of destiny.
But love, real, comforting, lived in love, it happens right here in the physical body.
By introducing the sweet taste of the ripe peaches, the author creates a sudden, beautiful little window into their shared past.
It tells us they had a gentle morning together. It tells us they sat somewhere quiet, perhaps on a sun-drenched stone patio, sharing sweet, ripe fruit.
It perfectly grounds this highly romanticized, dreamlike moment in the very simple human reality of a shared, quiet meal.
It creates a timeline of care. It reminds us that this deep intimacy didn't just suddenly appear out of nowhere. It is the natural continuation of a day spent peacefully together.
And the contrast in those specific flavors is so telling. You have the sweet, innocent, lingering memory of the peach from their leisurely morning.
And then you have the sharp, immediate, savory reality of the salts of their skin.
The salt represents the pure present moment, the heat, the physical reality of existing together in a summer afternoon.
The sweetness of a gentle memory and the savory reality of the present. And I think the salt is also a soft reminder of the world outside that they thought they left behind.
Oh, that's true. Julian brought the heat of the day in with him on his skin, didn't he?
He did. That heat, that physical reality, it cannot be entirely banished. But here, in this room, it is magically transformed into something deeply intimate.
It is no longer the oppressive, demanding heat of the sun. It has become the shared, comforting warmth of two people.
That transformation of the environment is made so wonderfully explicit by the author.
The text tells us that the heat of the Tuscan afternoon outside seemed to slowly dissolve into the room, fusing with the rising temperature of their bodies.
The heavy boundary between the stone sanctuary and the sweltering world outside just begins to softly melt away.
But it isn't an invasion of their peace. It is a beautiful integration.
The author writes, their movements became fluid, a languid, seamless dance that perfectly mirrored the slow pace of the Italian summer.
This is where the title, Summer Rhythm, fully materializes for us.
In the very beginning, the room was a fortress hiding them from the summer heat. Now, their connection is actually mirroring the very nature of the season.
They have become a natural part of the slow, heavy, beautiful rhythm of the Italian afternoon.
The environment is no longer just a setting. It is the gentle choreographer of their closeness.
And as their connection deepens, the very architecture of the ancient villa itself responds to them.
The text notes this really beautiful, delicate acoustic detail.
It says that every slide of skin, every breathless gasp, and every whispered word of adoration echoed softly against the high, vaulted ceilings of the villa.
I find that image so incredibly comforting to picture. In the first part of the story, the thick stone walls were acting as a protective barrier, keeping the harsh outside world completely at bay.
But here, the high vaulted ceilings are serving a completely different, much more intimate purpose.
They aren't keeping things out anymore. They are gently holding things in.
The elegant shape of the room is catching their quietest, most vulnerable sounds, their gasps, their sweet whispers.
And it's gently reflecting those sounds right back down to them. It creates a soft cocoon of sound.
When you are in a quiet space with vaulted ceilings, whispers carry in a way that feels almost magical, almost sacred.
The room is amplifying their intimacy, confirming it, and holding it completely safe in the cool air above them.
It is as if the ancient stone villa itself is bearing silent witness to their devotion.
It is the perfect, peaceful marriage of a physical space and an emotional reality.
But you know, all things, even the most intense, beautiful moments of connection, must eventually breathe out and settle.
Which brings us gently to the final movement of the story, appropriately titled Golden Hour.
The soft crescendo of the afternoon has slowly passed, and we begin a gentle, peaceful descent into the quiet evening.
The author uses the shifting natural light to beautifully guide us down from the intensity into this state of pure rest.
The text says, as the sun began to dip below the hills, painting the room in a deep, burnt orange.
Just think about how the light has softly evolved over the afternoon. We started with those sharp golden slats of light filtering through the wooden shutters. They were bright, focused, intense.
Now the light has softened, expanded, and deepened into this rich, warm, burnt orange that just fills the entire space.
That slow transition of light is perhaps the most ancient, comforting way to experience the passage of time.
There is no ticking clock on the wall to rush them. The time is told entirely by the soft color of the sun resting on the stone.
And as the light has transformed, so has the physical landscape of the bed itself.
The text describes them lying tangled in the center of the bed.
Let's quietly contrast this with exactly where we began. In Act 1, the sheet was a pristine, sheer white linen, meticulously draped over Elena while she rested all alone.
And now, how has that changed?
Now the text says those once pristine sheets are thoroughly rumpled and cast aside.
That image of the rumpled, cast-aside sheets is so evocative of a life truly lived. I know we can look at it simply as the physical aftermath of their closeness.
But I also see those discarded sheets as a profound, gentle symbol of the emotional barriers they have completely let go of over the course of the afternoon.
Oh, that is a wonderful interpretation. A meticulously draped sheet is beautiful, certainly, but it is formal. It is a boundary.
It implies a sense of separation, a need for a protective barrier, however thin it might be.
By the end of this quiet afternoon, that barrier is no longer needed at all. The pristine perfection of the room has been softly dismantled.
But what has naturally replaced it is far more beautiful because it is deeply, genuinely human.
Perfection is inherently lonely, isn't it? A perfectly made bed, a perfectly pristine room, it almost implies that no warmth or life has happened there.
The rumpled sheets are soft evidence of life, of tender touch, of complete surrender.
They are no longer two separate people quietly navigating a space. They are tangled together in the center of it, claiming the space completely for their love.
And their physical positioning in this golden hour is so incredibly tender.
The text says Julian is lying peacefully on his back, and Elena is draped softly across his chest.
Her cheek is resting specifically, the author notes, over his heartbeat.
Hearing a loved one's heartbeat is the ultimate auditory comfort.
We begin our very existence in the room, listening to the rhythmic, low-frequency thumping of a mother's heartbeat.
It is the very first sound we ever know in this world, and it universally deeply signifies safety and life.
By resting her cheek right over his heart, Elena is naturally seeking that primal, foundational comfort. She is anchoring herself to the very core of his physical being.
It echoes the steady rhythm of the cicadas from earlier in the afternoon, doesn't it? A steady, reliable, infinitely comforting tempo to fall asleep to.
It really does. And as she peacefully listens to his heartbeat, the text describes a final, quiet gesture from Julian.
He is slowly, patiently untangling her damp hair.
That specific action, gently untangling damp strands of hair, is perhaps the most touching, vulnerable detail in the entire narrative for me.
Because it is not an act of fiery passion or intense desire. Untangling hair requires immense, quiet patience.
It requires a gentle, careful, loving touch. If you pull too hard, it hurts. If you rush, you just create knots.
It is an act of deep, quiet devotion. I often think we easily confuse desire and intimacy.
Desire is the spark, the intense draw towards someone. But intimacy, true, profound intimacy, is the willingness to sit in the fading light and patiently perform an act of gentle maintenance for the person you love.
It is the sweet, quiet soothing of the aftermath.
Years later, looking back on a life shared together, it is often these quiet, tending moments that we remember the most vividly.
We remember the soft feeling of someone's hand in our hair, the steady sound of a heartbeat beneath our cheek, the warm color of the light fading on the wall.
The text leaves us with this final, indelible, peaceful image. They are simply watching the shadows lengthen across the stone floor.
They are completely content, bathed in the warmth of the fading day and each other.
Bathed in the warmth of the fading day and each other. The fierce, oppressive heat of the midday sun that they sought shelter from has been fully transformed into a gentle, lingering warmth.
The day is slowly ending. The beautiful light is fading. The cool shadows are quietly returning to the stone, but the warmth of their connection remains perfectly intact.
It is a deeply satisfying, incredibly peaceful resolution to their afternoon.
Looking back, it seems almost impossible to believe how much genuine emotion, how much sensory depth was peacefully contained in a single afternoon in a shadowed room.
But that is the pure power of truly noticing. That is the power of existing fully in a space.
Of letting the scent of lavender, the slant of light, the sweet taste of a peach anchor you completely to a specific, safe moment in time with someone you deeply love.
And somewhere along the way, through the slow, careful pacing of the touch, the quiet gravel of a whispered compliment, the soft echoing of the high-vaulted ceilings, the environment completely changed.
It stopped being a place they were simply hiding inside, and it became a beautiful vessel that held their love safely.
It became a memory neither would ever forget.
Perhaps the most beautiful part of this gentle story is the quiet invitation it offers to all of us tonight.
The gentle invitation to just slow down, to let the afternoon light filter through your own blinds and softly notice the shape it makes on the floor.
To taste your food, to feel the specific, comforting texture of the blankets around you, to listen to the quiet, rhythmic sounds of the world outside your windows as it goes to sleep.
Exactly. Which brings us to a quiet, peaceful thought we want to leave you with as you settle in to rest tonight.
We softly invite you to gently reach back into your own life and find a sensory memory of your own.
Think of a cherished, quiet moment. Perhaps a moment of deep peace or connection, one that is deeply tied to a specific safe place or a certain season in your life.
What is your unique version of the ripe peaches or the golden slats of light?
Is it the crisp smell of pine needles in a cold, quiet cabin?
Is it the gentle, rhythmic sound of rain against a window pane while someone you love sleeps quietly right beside you?
Is it the warm, grounding taste of a shared cup of coffee on a slow, foggy morning?
Whatever that specific beautiful sensory detail is for you, we invite you to let your mind simply rest there for a while tonight.
Let the gentle feeling of that memory slowly wash over you, just like the cool, shadowed air of the ancient Tuscan villa.
Allow that specific, loving warmth to completely surround you, to quiet all the noise of your day, and to softly tell your nervous system that you are safe.
You are sheltered, and it is finally time to just rest.
Thank you so much for sharing this peaceful, languid afternoon with us. May your own beautiful memories bring you deep comfort tonight.
Sleep well, and we will softly see you next time, right here on Slumber Love Stories.